Panic in Brussels. Trump and Secretary Rubio reportedly ignoring the European Union, focusing on bilateral relations with the countries instead. And this makes perfect sense. If we are going to continue to fight the globalists, and I do believe that both President Trump and Marco Rubio, at least in the early days of this administration, have demonstrated their desire to fight against globalism, then they would want to appease to those who believe in sovereignty of the nations. People who don't believe that the European Union should have supremacy over their various nations. This article comes to us from the Gateway Pundit by Paul Sarin. U.S. President Donald J. Trump and his Secretary of State Marco Rubio are reportedly focusing on bilateral relations with some European countries and totally ignoring the European Union in their early diplomatic moves. But come to think of it, why wouldn't they? The EU is pushing every losing, crippling globalist agenda under the sun, from unchecked mass migration to the net zero obsession of the Church of Global Warming, from DEI nonsense to transgenderism for children, to advancing a forever war in Ukraine. Brussels is destroying their nations to obey the orders of the globalist overlords. The most prominent point of tension, but far from the only one, is the unfairness of the trade imbalance. And here, this comes to us from Trump's speech at the World Economic Forum, where admittedly I was concerned. Why would he be speaking there? And then I watched the speech and was like, oh, okay. He wanted to speak at the World Economic Forum so he could throw down the gauntlet and insult the globalists. According to his speech, from the standpoint of America, the EU treats us very, very unfairly, very badly. They make it very difficult to bring products into Europe, and yet they expect to be selling, and they do sell their products in the United States. So we have, hundreds of billions of dollars of deficits with the EU, and nobody's happy about it. And we're going to do something about it. They essentially don't take our farm products, and they don't take our cars, yet they send cars to us by the millions. They put tariffs on everything, on things they want to do. We have some very big complaints with the EU, and it's not just about the economic aspect of it. It really is the war stance that the EU has taken. It's not just NATO. We always point our fingers at NATO, and rightly so, but the European Union has done their part to continue to flame the fires in Ukraine. They have done their part to continue to promote globalist agendas that go far beyond just, trade deficits and war. Global warming, of course, is their primary skeleton key that they use to try to force their citizens into accepting totalitarianism. And they need this totalitarianism because the other aspect of their globalism, which is, of course, the invasion from the Middle East and from Africa into their continent, into their so-called union, this is being pressed by them for a reason. They are... we always talk here about replacement theory. They are in the midst of replacement fact. There is no theory about it. They are replacing Europeans with as many people as possible from the Middle East and from Africa. And this isn't coming from the nations other than those that are appeasing the globalists in Brussels. This is coming from Brussels. This is their desire. Their goal is to establish the European Union as the ultimate melting pot, so to speak, except... the unfortunate and sad part is that the version of melting is based upon a fire that they simply cannot control. Join me live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern on X at JD Rucker, or go to jdrucker.com/rumble and get to my Rumble channel.